it's important to set small goals rather than having like a big, huge dream. Let's say, for example, rather than to complete a whole system, you would rather focus on creating a login page, for example. So if you are successful in creating that login page, you will be motivated to continue on doing some other stuff. So construction, and then I pivot my career again. I had so many so many career change in my professional career. So basically, after construction, I pivot to banking. This is where my digital career started off really. I mean, like very specific on digital industry. So I started in Alliance Bank at that point in time. I was doing digital banking, and then after that, after banking, I pivot to property development with UEM Sunrise. so so you can say that throughout that journey, I was looking into what I really want to do. So up until Alliance Bank, then I knew already that I wanted to focus on digital transformation and digital innovation. So hence why now I'm working in Auckland, New Zealand, as a digital project manager. So where I manage a lot of digital projects, website, mobile app, and all digital transformation initiatives. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up
How did you
my career
figure
journey.
out? How did you figure out digital transformation in all that pivoting? How did you find digital transformation and you decided that that's what you want?
Okay, so this happened by accident actually. As I mentioned earlier, I had like some fundamental programming learning experience during my degree time, right? So and then in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, I had a chance to visit my brother-in-law in the US. So we did a road trip from LA to San Francisco, and then on the way we stopped at Silicon Valley, and then like we were just like, okay, what's the fuss about Silicon Valley? Let's go and see. And then when we went there, and then I was amazed by how the community in Silicon Valley, I mean, all the employees of Google, of Apple, of all those tech companies, how they embrace innovation. So I was amazed by how everything was designed purposely for innovation purpose. Let's say, for example, their bicycle was powered by solar, for example. So everything was technological. I mean, the narrative is all technology based. So I was like, okay, so it's amazing how our life was shaped by technology at the moment. I can see in front of my eyes Google Office, Google Maps Office. So those technology really shape how we drive our life. So at that point in time, I know that okay, I want to do something that is similar to that route. I want to do something that can plus I love improving processes. Like, for example, when I was in manufacturing industry, I always find ways to improve processes. It's part of the working culture in manufacturing to find things to improve. So we call it Kaizen at that point of time. So from there, I was like linking things together. Okay, I like to improve processes, and then I like technology. So why don't I merge both things? And then digital transformation.
That's quite cliche, getting an inspiration from Silicon Valley. I mean, if I went there, I would have felt the same way. Is that around the time when you started Selflearning to code? Sorry?
Yes, right after that, when I came back from Silicon Valley, I was like, okay, let's try this. I've got nothing to lose. So let's see if in 1 year time, I didn't I cannot learn the programming, so I just can like just do my normal work, you see. But after that, after 1 year, I managed to learn something, and then I managed to practice what I learned into my working environment. So yeah, from there I continue doing what I do now. Yeah.
How old were you when you started self-learning?
Oh, 2017. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really bad with
It's okay. I was
let
17.
let me let let me do some calculation.
Yeah, do your math.
2017. So it was 30 years old. I was 30
30
years old
years
when I started.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
self-programming.
most people would thought that it was that age is too late, right?
Yeah,
It's good
yeah.
that you take the leap. All right.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
self-learn for 1 year?
I'm not. I think it was a continuous journey. I started in 2017, and then it was until 2020 that I got the job that is related to the thing that I do. I mean, self-learning. So 3 years, I would say. Yeah, but that was on a steady pace. I don't put pressure on myself, so I just learn according to, my own pace. So yeah.
All right. So do you learn full time or while you're working or how?
I was quite lucky though, because my work is not like it's not busy. So sometimes when I have break time during my work, then I started looking into all these tutorials, all these websites, and then YouTube videos, and then I continue when I feel like I want to at home. But then the thing that kept me going is I set some mini projects that I want to finish. Let's say, for example, I want to do some attendance system through web application. So I started on doing that small. I break down all the big tasks into smaller tasks, and then that's how I keep myself going.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant, because that's how we Sigma School do it as well. We give students a project and we will break it down. First you do this and then you do that. That's how they keep learning, right? Instead of giving them a big project and then they don't know what to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and then
okay, keep going.
Sorry Tisha. And then I think the choice of programming language is also important, because at that point of time I tried ventured into a mobile application, like how to do mobile application, right? But that was too difficult for me because I have no JavaScript fundamentals. So then at that point in time I pivot to web application because the entry level language is more consumable to me personally. So that's really important too, because you need to see progress when you learn. When you don't see progress, you tend to be demotivated, and then when you're demotivated, you're not gonna pursue further. Yeah.
Because you're just gonna think that you can't do it, right?
Exactly. It's like you're hitting a wall, and then there's no path for you. Then you just stop. Yeah.
True.
It's important to choose. It's important to choose programming language that you are comfortable with, and then see progress. Even if it's a small progress, it's still a progress.
So you mentioned you learned through YouTube tutorials and all that. Is it just solely YouTube tutorials, or did you subscribe to an online course or anything?
Oh no, I didn't subscribe to any courses. I just use all the free tutorial, which is the W3 schools. And most of the time, when I stumble upon problems, I went to Stack Overflow, stackoverflow.com. So the number one reason why I choose PHP is because the support group is huge in Stack Overflow. So I can just go to Stack Overflow and then I just Google my problem. I search my problem, and then they'll just give the solution. So
is that like some kind of a forum?
I think it can be considered as a forum, but it's different kind of like, it's where people post some problem and then the other account holder will give solution to that problem.
There's like a community there.
Community, yeah. There's like a community there over there. Yeah. Correct. Yeah,
so,
you're right.
So that helped you, having a community help you as well, aside from the tutorials.
Exactly. Because sorry, Tisha.
You go ahead.
because I think when you do self-learn, right? You're gonna have a lot of discipline to make sure that you fulfill all goals that you set. Because when you go into a formal education system, like when you go for CS degree, for example, they are very structured for you to finish all those courses. But when you do self-learn, it's entirely up to you on your timeline, your topic that you want to cover. So I think having a community really help you stay in the course.
Since you mentioned CS degree, I'd like to ask, why did you take the self-learning route instead of a CS degree?
Well, it depends on your why, though, to be honest, because my why is more on just want to know about the PHP itself, how web application is functioning, and then CS degree is more broad, I would say, because they're talking about architecture, about all the other programming language. I was just trying to focus on PHP, and then I think there's nothing. Initially I was just trying to understand, but then when things when I started things like I got excited when I complete my first ever mini project. So then I continue from there. So I think there's pros and cons on self-learning as well as getting a CS degree. Of course, CS degree, as I said earlier, is very structured. When you go into a degree program, everything is structured for you, and then I believe that getting a degree is just not for the degree itself. It prepares you for working environment as well. For instance, if submitting your assignment, for example, right, is preparing you for committing to a deadline. When you enter the workforce, right, like communicating with your lecturer is like communicating with your superior when you work later on. So I think there's pros on that's the pros on getting a CS degree, but pros in self-learning is you can focus on what you want to do and why you want to do it in the first place.
As you mentioned workforce, right, being in the workforce and superiors and all that, how does your self-learning experience help you get a job in that field?
Yeah, I was considered lucky because in this industry, I would say that most of my employers, previous employees and current employees, they just want to see what am I capable of doing. Let's say, for example, if I say that I can code and I do full stack development, I can do front end and back end, they just want to see how I do it. So if I can display that to them, if I can show that to them in my interview session, so I can consider fulfilling their job requirements. So I think in this industry, in this digital transformation and programming industry, as long as you can show them that you can do it, then there's a good chance that you can be accepted into the workforce. But by saying that, I don't say that degree is not important. Degree is still important. It prepares you for the real workforce, and then it's an advantage if you can get a formal degree. Yeah, but self-learning can help strengthen that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. All right. So, you mentioned, you're getting a job. They don't really ask for your degree, right? They ask for your, what you can do and all that. Was that your, what was your first job after you finished as self-learning?
My first job after I finished self-learning was in KLCC, where I was working as senior executive in project management office. But at that point of time, this is interesting part, because in KLCC I was appointed as senior executive in project management office. But at that point of time, the company is transitioning because of COVID-19 2020. So they like trying to find solution for digital solution because everyone is working from home, right? So at that point in time, I suggest to my superior, why don't we do this? I can do this from scratch. I can code this. I can do this. So basically, I managed to create 2 systems from scratch, and then they use that system at that point of time, and then we managed to increase productivity. Yeah.
Wow, you're really taking the chance. That was like a chance in front of you.
Yeah. So the timing is very, very on my side as well.
That's right. So that's how the digital transformation started.
Yes. That's how my journey in the digital transformation started. And then from that point of time, I managed to create 2 systems for KLCC, and then I use that portfolio as my stepping stone to go into banking, where I do digital banking. Yeah.
What you mentioned Alliance, right?
Alliance Bank, yeah.
So after the KLCC one, and then you went into Alliance.
Yes, correct. Yeah. But during my time at Alliance Bank, I was not really hands-on, because we have like a vendor-client relationship. So everything that the bank wants to do, we always lies with the vendor. So I was more on managing project at that point of time. Rather in KLCC, I was rather hands-on. I go on every department to find their pain points, and then discuss with them what they want to do, what they want to have in the future. So I have my own team in KLCC, so we do all the development in-house. So yeah, so basically.
So would you rather do the hands-on one or the other one?
Now I would rather do the management part. Because I think that's going to be a lot more faster. Because it's I think during the KLCC time, because we don't have enough employee that can do that, so I have to do it myself. So now at that current position now in Auckland, so we have our developers and designers, so I would rather do the management part. But it helps because I knew all the coding stuff, all the backend, all the database, all the front end. So it's easy for me to communicate with my developers. Let's say, for example, they say they can't do this, but I knew that they can do it. So I can give them some ways to do it, and then they'll do it. Yeah.
You can see that when working with tech and everything, coding is not the only valuable skill that you should have, right? Like I can see you enjoy managing, and that all comes with your prior experience in project something, I forgot, right?
Project management, yeah.
Project management, yeah. So coding is not the only skill that you should have, right? Okay, now let's talk about because self-learning, it's not always easy. So Are there times when you felt doubt or when you felt like you want to give up on self-learning?
Oh yeah. I think initially it was almost every week I questioned myself. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? But then again, as I mentioned earlier, it's important to set small goals rather than having like a big, huge dream. Let's say, for example, rather than to complete a system, a whole system, you would rather focus on creating a login page, for example. So if you are successful in creating that login page, you will be motivated to continue on doing some other stuff. So that is something that if I can restart again, I would set my mentality to do that rather than having like a complete idea of okay, I'm gonna do a complete system in 1 month. I would rather focus on small steps. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I question myself almost every week why I did this. But then
Sounds horrible.
the yeah, yeah. But again, the joy in self-learning, right, is you cannot unlearn what you learn. So for instance, if before 2016 I don't know how to create a login page, for example, but then once I know that, it's something that is, bring joy to me, if that makes sense. And then
And it opens
that
many more
is
possibilities, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it tells yourself that
Yeah.
you can do it. You can do
Exactly.
it
Yes.
even
Yeah.
if it's
Yes. Yes.
small.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, at Sigma School, we are a coding bootcamp, and we help people learn coding without prior experience, and we help them get a job even without a degree. It's a 3-month coding bootcamp. We help them do everything, and we promise them a job. If they don't get a job, we give them back 100% of their money. So they're probably going to watch this. Okay. My question is, what advice do you have for them when they're starting out to learn coding?
Right. Okay. Well, I don't think I I have the I have the credential to give advice to people though. But I'll give anyway. But I think the number one thing to really I mean, to look at before you want to consider learning coding is the why. Why do you want to learn coding? Is it just as a hobby or self-improvement, or do you want to do something later in your life with that knowledge? That's really important, because that's going to guide you throughout the journey. That's going to determine whether you persevere or not, but whether you discipline or not to achieve your target. So first discover that why. Once you got that why, don't ever give up. If you've stumbled upon any problems, just go to don't keep the problem to yourself. Go to online community, or go to, like you said, discuss among other coding programmers. And then once that's sorted, I think also set a small target rather than huge target. Progress is key. Always look at progress rather than the completion itself. So yeah, I think the rest is enjoy the journey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we are down to our last question, which is because you mentioned you pivot from this industry, this field, and pivot again. So some of our students are career changes or career switches. Do you have anything to say to them if they're not sure if they should switch to tech?
Yeah. I read somewhere. I'm not sure. I have to cross check again, but I read somewhere. There are four industries that are not going to be affected by recession. Number one is education, healthcare, government jobs as well as tech. So tech will never get badly impacted. In fact, if you see during the COVID-19 crisis, right, tech was booming. Like a company like Zoom, Slack, Asana, Microsoft Teams, all those stuff, even flourishing during a recession or during I would say during slower economic hard times. Yeah. So I think for those who has doubt on tech industry, that proves that tech industry is sustainable. But then again, it requires a lot of effort to be in the tech industry, because particularly if you don't have fundamental knowledge in let's say, for example, coding, programming, managing those stuff, but if there is a will, then I'm pretty much sure that anyone can do it. Learning programming, you just have to have proper plan, and then mindset setting is very important.
All right. I think that is all for now. And again,
thank you so much, Tisha.
Thank you so much for doing this. You gave a lot of insights, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your time as well. So maybe we're gonna do this another time. Maybe I'll find a slot for you. We'll see.
No worries, Tisha. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time as well.
You're welcome. Yeah. So until then, all the best and good luck. Bye bye.
Thank you. Keep in touch. Take care. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.